Are you ready?
Quit time!
We are the best in the world at what we do.
It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show with Robert Price, Tom Malloy, and your host, Rich Lopez.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special year-end edition of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. It is episode number 39. Hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas. Hope you guys ate all your ham, kibasi, potato salad, macaroni
The
salad.
stuffings, the fixings and trimmings.
There you go. And hope you guys enjoyed that holiday. And now, coming up in a couple of days is New Year's Eve, so hope you guys make a resolution and stick to it. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here at my two colleagues, Robert Price and Tom Malloy.
Hello, hello.
Hey there, guys.
Real quick, how was you guys' Christmases?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Ultimate Warrior signed picture.
I saw that. I didn't get your Snapchat, but I saw it on Facebook, so that's pretty cool. Malloy, how was yours?
It was good. Ate a lot.
Yeah.
Had some good food.
Okay.
Got some socks.
Okay.
Yeah.
New Day socks.
I was saying New Day socks. New
Day socks.
Nice. Coming up on the show, we're going to do a PriMalLow remake. I know it's really early. You guys are like, oh, wow, first segment of PriMalLow remake. Excuse me. But, yeah, we're going to talk about the Slammies. There's a lot of heated discussions in WWE regarding, you know, maybe a change of style for next year. So we're going to give you guys our take on it. And then we're going to also do a segment that we usually do later in the show very early. It is our self-high five. It's kind of our countdown edition where we talk about our favorite wrestlers and divas of 2015.
And it's so nice that we have to do it twice. Another self-high five. What's that topic, Rich?
It'll be favorite matches.
And we're also doing a segment called PriMalLow Prize Winners, our edition of the Slammies on various categories from the year of 2015.
Then we're going to conclude our show with our 2016 Predictor. We're going to talk about various topics, such as who will be this year's Money in the Bank winner and also the King of the Ring winner this year if they decide to continue that show.
What show?
The King of the Ring.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said.
And speaking of a show,
yeah,
let's get right into it.
Let's go right into it, guys. Stay tuned after the short break. It is PriMalLow Remake. Okay, so the Slammies took place last week, and a lot of the winners that won these categories were not present to receive their awards, so a lot of creative backstage felt like it took a lot out of the Slammies, you know, the special edition Raw and stuff like that. First of all, even besides that, like, do you even think the Slammies are prestigious anymore? Do you ever actually think that they ever were, Price? Start with
Yes.
you. Yeah?
Before, when you weren't able to see it on TV, it made it more special because you're like, oh, wow, I have to be there in order to see that.
Yeah.
For super fans, they would want to be there.
Yeah. Okay, how about you, Malloy? Anything?
I think it was more prominent in the 90s. That it was more of a specialty, and it was like more of an award-winning event.
Yeah.
To me now, it's kind of a joke, actually.
Okay.
There's so many different things they could do about it, and you know.
I don't want to cut you off, but I was gonna segue into that, dude. You're getting excited for this.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of things they were talking about is maybe like changing the year, or not changing the month of the year to do it. Location, make it more like grandiose, I guess. I don't know. Just to keep this flow going. Price, you want to start off? Do you think they need to change it? What would you change?
I think that they do need to change it. I have 3 points that I want to hit here.
Okay.
So, first one, I would make it during the SummerSlam weekend and not just a random Raw.
Okay.
WrestleMania has Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is awesome. You have that the night before. Have the Slammies the night before.
SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Even with the new NXT tradition?
It don't matter. I
Okay.
mean, you have the Slammies.
Okay.
NXT's. It could be on Saturday as well. I mean, you could have both of them back to back.
Yeah.
Fans can vote, but like I said last week, we were all talking about, have the Electoral College of backstage Hall of Famers, you know, people who have titles, because those are the people that really know who's working hard,
Exactly.
and who's not. And more legends present, since they're going to be there for the signings. Like I said, if you're going to have it SummerSlam weekend, you have all these people there for appearances, so they could be presenters as well.
Make it more special.
Right.
Even though they're not going to win anything. I know what you mean. Malloy, would you change it? If so, what are you going to change?
My change would be the last Raw. The show would take place instead of the Raw, right before the new year.
So like it would be, you mean like yesterday's Raw?
It'd be the year in review. don't actually have wrestling matches. Have like a network special show because most of the wrestlers are on vacation right now, anyways.
The only thing with that is they would lose their weekly episodic running, which is their record.
That's
right?
true. Yeah. So
No,
So they would have to be there. Yeah, that's why they had that Raw after Royal Rumble after the snowstorm.
no. If they just had,
Oh, you mean
if
that they
they
taped
had-
it? You mean?
yeah, if they
And aired
taped it and they're like, oh, well, here is your things for match of the year, and then whoever wins that match, they just play that match.
You think so?
they could do something even like that.
That'd
but
be awesome.
I'm even saying just put it on the USA Network. Put the Slammies and have it up in Connecticut. Have it right in their studios.
Right.
Make
Yeah.
it like the Emmys or whatever, and give more prestige to it. Because I think they're just trying to do too much at once. You're trying to keep with the storylines. You're trying to keep giving out the Slammies, and then you're trying to have matches in between.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was that last week's Raw was just thrown together. Like it
No, I
was,
completely agree with you, 100%.
and they could do a lot more with it. I think personally, all the contestants should be there that are.
I definitely 100%.
Because
agree with you
Undertaker could show up. What else has he got going on?
there. I know.
The Rock. I mean, he could show up for 15 minutes if he has a category.
Or at least do a
something.
taping.
At least do a
You know what I mean?
taping if he knows he's going to win prior to that.
Exactly. That's what they were thinking about doing too. That's another. I forgot to point that out.
Yeah,
the
just
thing
record
about the thing about ending the voting about a day early, so they could register all the votes and then do whatever they got to do for
Exactly.
recipients, which they should have done that anyway, or at least on a back, just in case. You know
You'd
what I
think
mean?
that they'd be thinking it through.
Yeah. Right.
I just feel like the Slammies are just overall at this point in time just thrown together and just like
Not prestigious.
not prestigious
It's
at
a
all.
hobby thing.
kinda like-
It's almost like a filler. It's
Yeah,
almost
it's like a filler or
promos.
like the World Heavyweight title in 2011.
Oh man.
What would you do though, Rich?
Me, I'm gonna go off what you said, but I have it for a different pay-per-view. That'd be WrestleMania, just like it was back in the '90s. Hear me out. Friday night. Actually, I wrote a little planner here. I wish I had a.
Oh, please.
Yes.
I love details.
Yes. All right. So I have right here. Bullet 1, move to WrestleMania weekend like they did in '96, '97. I don't know if they did that in the '80s. I forget. I don't think they did though.
No.
They had a whole bunch of brunches and stuff, almost like what they do now. But I like what they did in the '90s. So Friday, access till about 2, 3, whatever, and for the main players.
Right.
Obviously, mid-card to jobbers or NXT even people, like, just have them stay till about 6, whatever. At night, do the Slammy Awards. Same thing Saturday, access, same exact schedule, Hall of Fame at night. Sunday, WrestleMania. Monday, the biggest Raw after.
The only thing I want to ask, do you think that that's too much? I mean, like, you already have
Here's-
WrestleMania weekend.
No, I already know.
So you already have the people that are going to be there. So do you feel as though that the Slammy should be there? Or is that too
yeah,
much?
Yeah. I do not think it's too much because I think what they should do is give the wrestlers the 2 days off that Wednesday and Thursday, if that makes any sense. Like, so you're thinking live Monday Night Raw. All right, so just try to hear me
Right.
out, like the WrestleMania week. Monday you're gonna have Raw. Tuesday you're gonna do a taping, right? And then just give them Wednesday and Thursday off, because they already think about it's just adding an extra day. Actually, it's only adding an extra 3 hours, because Friday you're already doing access anyway.
And
You're just
Slammies they don't have to be 3 hours.
And
It could be an hour and a half.
what I was gonna say too is limit the categories, make it more realistic. Like best tag team, best diva, best wrestler. I won't even do like I remember even 2 years ago when Daniel Bryan was hot. They just want to hit him to get an award, so they did Beard of the Year. That you don't
That's
need.
weird.
It's stupid. And then there's 3 different moments of the year. That's stupid. You should only do one moment. Do you know what I mean? One moment, wrestler, diva, tag team of the year, match of the year, pay-per-view of the year.
Right.
Like the
Well, who's
do
going to
every-
come out and accept the award for pay-per-view of the year?
Vince McMahon every single time
Okay.
because he booked it. But I don't know. I just think that it's. I mean, it does sound like a lot, but you're only ending up doing an extra 3 hours if you think about it. And it also, I think, will work out more if you give them Wednesday and Thursday off anyway.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just think that's the only way to make it more prestigious. Because, like you said, the legends and celebrities are already going to be there because it's WrestleMania. So why not just hit? And then everybody considers the calendar year for wrestling WrestleMania to WrestleMania.
Right,
I think so.
Yeah.
So, in between WrestleMania should be the year, and that's when they should all celebrate the moments and wrestlers and stuff like that. So, that's just me. Tell us your thoughts about what you would do about the Slammies, or if you think that the Slammies are fine the way it is, which I hope not. But if you guys do, hit us up on social media. Our Facebook is the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Just search up that page, like it, and tell everybody about it. We're also on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @PriMalLow Show. We're getting some good feedback on there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And then also on SoundCloud, YouTube, and Blogger, it's the PriMalLowWrestlingShow.blogspot.com. SoundCloud is PriMalLow Wrestling Show, and then YouTube is the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, much like our Facebook. Anything you guys want to touch up on it? We finish this up.
Let's go on to the next segment, baby.
Start the recap of 2015. When we come back, it is our favorite superstars / divas of 2015. Stay tuned. PriMalLow Wrestling Show.
Hi, I'm Robert from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, here to tell you about our Twitter account. Follow our page at PriMalLow Show for fan interaction regarding professional wrestling. Thank you, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Welcome back to the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. We're nearing that 2016, but before that, we just want to touch up in this 2015 year and give you some of our favorite superstars and divas. So we're gonna give it right to Malloy. We'll have you start off. This segment will be regarding, like I said, our favorite superstars and divas of 2015. Just give them 5 through 1, and you can explain as many as you want.
All right, 5 through 1. I got Kevin Owens for number 5. I got Charlotte Banks.
What?
Charlotte. Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte. I have Sasha Banks.
The hybrid.
Yeah, that'd be actually pretty awesome. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
Okay. That's you really can't go wrong there. Well, actually, no. Here's my question, because he's really most of the year, about 8 months to 9 months of the year, you were pretty not with the divas. I will say you did pick 2 divas that were part of that quote unquote revolution that didn't really work out.
Did he pick 2 divas, or did he pick one diva?
He named 2 divas.
Can you give me your number 6?
Yeah.
Just for old time's sake.
I know that's
Starting number 6.
Who'd it be?
Come on.
All right.
Kalisto.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Gangrel.
Gangrel, nice. Why do you put 2 divas on there?
All right, Charlotte, because I think she did a stand-up job this year. I think, made the Divas division actually interesting again. And Sasha Banks, just because of that Iron Man match, I don't think she's proven herself on the main roster yet, but she proven herself enough on the NXT roster to be a big player on the Raw roster.
I did forget to put that little disclaimer in there that we are including NXT. I apologize. So that does make sense why you would have 2 divas. But okay, I like that. Why is Dean Ambrose your favorite?
I feel like even though he didn't get the big one,
you don't need it.
You don't need the big one all the time. And he's Intercontinental Champion right now. He had a great year. He had great matches. You can't go wrong with any of the work he's done this year.
Yes, I can't. Obviously I can't go wrong with your list, but I'm sure ours is.
And maybe he's gonna win the Royal Rumble this year. In 2016, he'll be number 1 again.
We'll see. That'd be cool. I'm rooting for him because I like to see a title versus title, but we'll see. That's 2016. We'll see that in the Predictor maybe. Price?
I'm glad that you allowed me to use NXT, because everybody on my list, with the exception of one superstar, is from NXT, either past or present.
Well, I figured if there was ever going to be a countdown, you need them because that's the most wrestling.
Unlike Tom's Charlotte and Sasha Banks, I have the best Steve inside for my number 5. Blue Pants. Blue Pants. My number 4, Enzo Amore, Colin Cassidy, and Carmella.
And
as a group.
You can't teach that.
How you doing? Number 3, New Day. I was with New Day way before the whole bandwagon thing happened, so thank you, Twitter followers.
Completely with you on that one.
My number 2, Kevin Owens. And number 1, Seth Rollins. He really changed my outlook on him after he broke away from the pack. None of us thought it was going to be him, and then he really made 2015 his.
Okay. I definitely want to hear Blue Pants. Because I feel like even though she was in NXT, not the main roster, I feel like she wasn't on NXT for long.
It's
obviously a favorite. It's not a critically acclaimed list. It's your favorite.
Okay.
I just want to explain.
She's like The Undertaker or Triple H. When she shows up, she makes a statement.
Actually, you'd be proud of me, dude. Side note, real quick.
What?
I was talking to somebody at work today about wrestling, and I kept saying about how mad I was. I almost said the P word, like.
Okay.
That Bray Wyatt lost to Cena at Mania 30.
Yeah.
And I really wish, since it wasn't... Oh, no, I said that... I was really mad that they didn't use Paige for Sister Abigail. And then I heard reports that Bray's going to face Lesnar possibly at 32. And I was like, this would be the time for... Because Bray needs to win at Mania.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And he really needs to go over somebody big. They should use Sister Abigail now and have a Blue Pants because she fits that mold. Like, very pacey... Dark hair.
Yeah, but
obviously it wouldn't work, and she also doesn't have a real name. It's Blue Pants.
I'm proud of you. However, I disagree because she is the number 1 indie wrestler. She just does cosplay.
No, I know.
And that's what gets
that's
her
why she had
over.
heat in NXT though, because had all those bookings, so she was making money on the bookings, and the merchandising was
Right.
her own. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
But no, I like I said, it's not critically acclaimed list. It's your favorites. I just wanted to hear why.
How about your favorites?
We got 5 here: Dean Ambrose, 4 Sasha Banks, 3 New Day, 2 Kevin Owens, 1 Seth Rollins.
Can you describe Dean Ambrose for us?
Dean Ambrose, he's like, everybody says he's like the Austin of this era, which is completely, 100% true. His like skill set is so like unique and stuff like that. It's like watching him. I just wish he was put in the Attitude Era, if that makes sense, because I feel like his language would help his character develop.
Well, I'd hate to break this to you, but he wouldn't be in WWE if he was in the Attitude Era.
He probably wouldn't.
He'd be in ECW.
Yep, exactly. But you know what I mean? Like PG, I feel like has hindered Reigns and Ambrose based on language. But that's why I have my number 5. If it was a different era, maybe even higher. Sasha, everybody knows I'm a big Sasha fan, especially what she's done this year, just on NXT takeovers. And then I think 2016 will be her. She'll be on my list again, but for WWE reasons, because I think it's going to be her year. New Day. I know you've been high on them longer than me. However, as soon as they turned heel, which everybody knows.
You love a heel.
Yeah, I love a heel. So, yeah, they got their big break at SummerSlam, but I've liked them before SummerSlam because as soon as they went heel, which I think was like Extreme Rules.
Right.
I didn't pick them to win, unlike you, but I was with them as soon as they went heel. Kevin Owens.
Not just because of music?
No, not because of music. I just like what they do. It's just so authentic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just love people that are authentic. Like, Kevin Owens is becoming, I think, right now. The NXT Kevin Owens to the WWE is kind of different, I thought, because Kevin Owens would just run away in a match just because. But in WWE, but in NXT, he was prize fighter, a brutal guy, and that's what he's turning into since he lost the IC title. So, really excited for that. And then Seth Rollins. I've always said, probably since... maybe Orton, the best wrestler actually had the title on the roster. Someone could argue Cesaro, but if you're going to make an argument, you have to make an argument, I guess. So, yeah. Any honorable mentions? We have a couple minutes. Anybody that you're
Samoa
deciding?
Joe.
Samoa Joe?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. They finally, he's in a WWE ring now, coming from the independent scene for various years.
How about you, Price? Anything
Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews, yeah.
He's fantastic.
I think he's going to tear down the house, and he's going to be. This is a bold prediction. He's going to be the first African American to be the face of the company.
Oh, WWE.
Yes.
I was gonna say don't say NXT because I think Big E was right.
No. Yes, he was.
Yeah. Okay, WWE. That's a big statement.
Yes.
I like that. I like these bold predictions. But the one I was taught. I was thinking about putting Reigns or Wyatt at number 6, but just because they actually had a pretty decent rivalry that got overlooked because it was in the midst of Lesnar Undertaker. So, go ahead.
I'm surprised none of us have the top tier guys.
Like Orton and Cena.
Like Orton and
Lesnar.
Cena, Taker and Lesnar.
Well, the thing with Taker
Big
and
Show.
Lesnar is
It's a youth movement again,
hold
just
that.
like the early
Yeah.
90s.
Hold that. The thing with Lesnar and Taker is they've only wrestled 4 times the whole year. Orton, yeah, you could have. Unfortunately, he was pushed in that right above mid-card level, and same with, Cena. I was actually thinking about Cena because of the U.S. Open challenge. He made that at times sometimes more important than the WWE title. Obviously, it's debatable, but tell us your thoughts on social media. I'm interested to hear. Maybe there's somebody different like R-Truth. I'd like to hear R-Truth. He's becoming really, really funny to me.
Yeah.
And anybody
worker,
liking
too.
Sheamus?
He's a good heel.
Let us know.
That's about it.
Well, our favorite divas and superstars are in the books, and after this short break, we're going to go to our favorite matches of 2015. Stay tuned, and let us know if you agree with us. Hey, I'm Rich Lopez from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Don't forget to hear our new episodes of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show on SoundCloud. Episodes are uploaded every Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. It is time for our third segment. It's our second edition of the Self High Five on this show. I know you guys are very, very excited for that. It is time for our favorite matches. Malloy just started off the previous Self High Five, so we're going to give this one to Price. 5 through 1. If you want to name any honorable mentions, you can do that as well. Favorite matches of 2015. 3, 2, 1.
Honorable mention, the Royal Rumble triple threat. I don't have it on my list because I felt as though if I did, I'd be a little bit biased because I was there, present,
It was
live.
good though.
It was awesome.
It was WWE.com's number one.
Well,
That's how unbiased. I mean, it's biased.
It's going to be number one in my heart,
There
but
you go.
this is me going with my mind.
I appreciate that, man.
My number 5, Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor from the Beast in the East. Just that match itself, the build up to it, and before with the streamers and everything else, it was amazing.
Owens made that match for me with the throwing of the bouquet of roses.
That, and I loved he was going to run at him,
Yeah.
and then he just put him in a sleeper hold chin lock. Number 4, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker from Hell in the Cell. Love that they did that spot where they ripped up the ring. Love that you're smashed right onto the wood. I mean,
Never been done.
it went
before.
over the top.
Yeah, never been done before.
Number 3, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, NXT Unstoppable.
Look at
You want to talk about real heat? You want to talk about real way to sell an injury? You look at how Becky Lynch, how her arm was worked on. That was so much of, everybody looked past that match because you see Bayley versus Sasha. This match is what put Sasha on the map to be against Bayley. Number 2, Seth Rollins versus Cena from SummerSlam. That was title versus title. You didn't really know who was going to win. Seth Rollins really brought it, and hate to say this, but Cena, during this time, this is where he was changing up his moveset, and he decided that this run that he was having, he was going to make every match count.
He had to.
And my number 1 from WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns with the surprise factor of Seth Rollins.
Look at
The
you.
heist of the century.
I
From
was
WrestleMania.
no, I know. No, I heard you say WrestleMania. I was trying to think. Do you think that was the best main event in like how long? I guess maybe 26 with Michaels and Undertaker. Or do you think it was better than that?
No, I think Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels is better, but that's,
So all right. So besides that main event, which is main event as
I
I
think
the
that
last
main
show
event-
on the card. What was the last WrestleMania? If you could think of any right now, can you think
I
of
can't
any?
think of any off
I'm
the top of
sorry.
my head.
I'm
off
thinking
the dome.
26 or 23.
I'm thinking 28.
28.
No, I'm only joking.
I hope not. I was gonna say I hope not.
But this match, it was okay as a main event with Brock versus Roman, and that's exactly what you thought it was going to be. Nobody thought it was going to be Seth Rollins, even if you said that you thought it was going to be Seth Rollins.
Oh no! I was gonna say I thought it was pretty physical. I thought Reigns.
No,
actually brought
I
the
mean, I thought it was
physical
awesome, and it would have been acceptable if it was just Brock Lesnar versus
Oh,
Roman
okay,
Reigns.
okay. I'm
But
sorry.
then you threw Seth Rollins in there, and every single house went nuts.
Yeah.
As ours did.
Yeah, as ours did. Obviously, can't go wrong with that. Most of these were on the WWE Network countdown or WWE countdown, and it's there. I was going to say, besides like 2 or 3 that they usually do at the higher part of the list, like the
Right.
20, like the 19 to 25, they're pretty accurate. So I like the writers when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like they know they're wrestling, even though, well, I guess
They don't know the wrestling.
I want to say that's creative. That's different. Malloy, countdown, 5 through 1. Any honorable mentions?
I have 2 honorable mentions actually. Cena versus Rollins for the US, well, the 2 titles when they were on the line at SummerSlam, and Taker versus Wyatt at WrestleMania. I think
Yeah?
that match is really underlooked because of the fact that Taker came back from the year before, from like being like a broken down man to like coming back and opening a can of whoop ass, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say.
"Quote unquote" the great philosopher,
Yes.
Stone Cold.
And I think it helped Wyatt's character also build. My 5 through 1 though is I have Triple H versus Sting. I
Yeah?
have
Look at that.
Undertaker versus Lesnar at the Hell in a Cell. I have the 7-man ladder match at WrestleMania. I have Sting versus Seth Rollins as my number 2. And Seth Rollins versus Lesnar versus Cena at the Royal Rumble as my number 1.
What was your number 2? I'm sorry. I just...
Sting versus Seth Rollins.
okay. I heard you say Rollins. I didn't hear you say the first name. Go ahead, Price.
Also, I wanted to add for that Bray Wyatt Undertaker match, Bray Wyatt was hurt going into that
Yeah, he had
match
a
as
broken
well.
foot.
Yeah, he still made it work. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic matchup in my opinion.
You know what's really crazy? I was talking to the guy at work like a week after that happened. This is going to sound kind of cheesy. I really think the match would have been a lot better if it was in a dome where you could turn off the lights.
Yeah, I think that took away from Undertaker's entrance.
I think
Took
even
away
Bray
from
Wyatt's.
both, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how cool the Bray Wyatt one with all the scarecrows in the dark would be? That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
It also took away from Sting's too.
Well, no, it's what I'm saying.
No,
Like,
lot of
Sting's
the-
was some sort of Japanese.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
entrance.
you can kind of get away with that, but yeah, I feel like that.
still like the Dark Crow persona.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like the Bray and the Undertaker, like I feel like they needed darkness for their
Yes.
entrances, and it kind of took away. But go ahead, Price.
And then also for your number 2, Sting versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I really want to hear that.
Sting being hurt, I thought that was awesome. But
I just thought it's that old. It's like Sting's the last person from his generation still left who was capably able to wrestle, and actually no one really knows if he still is or not.
No, he brought it that night though.
Yeah, he brought it that night, and like that was like watching Michaels versus Ric Flair. Like it was it was good.
Yeah,
it was a really good match. It's like those two from different eras just going at it, and Sting from being from the same era as Ric Flair going against a guy who's almost 30 years old. That's fantastic for a guy who's out mid 60s.
Is he in the 60s?
No, he's like 50.
Well, he's high 50. Oh, I thought he was in the high 50s.
I thought he was in the high 50s. I thought he was like 58 or something like that.
I was going to say 56. I could be wrong, though. Let us know.
We'll go with 56.
Yeah, we'll go with
56.
good media. If anyone knows, definitely let us know. Or else we'll just look up on Wikipedia after
the show.
Shave. But just that match itself, like there was some really good spots in that, and you just can't go wrong with that match.
No, I mean, it's all right. The ending kind of took away, but
the ending kind of sucked. But I think he was hurt.
Yeah, he couldn't control it. Go ahead, Bryce.
And he had that old school mentality of finishing the match, even though that he was severely hurt.
Yeah, I mean, just to keep the praise for Sting going too, is he's really pro helping younger talent, get over.
Oh, he was all about making Seth Rollins like a better wrestler.
And he said that was one of the most thrilling, seeing what Rollins can do in the ring. Because let's face it, Rollins is young, real young still, and he's been the champion. He was champion for what, March to November, but he still hasn't been proven when it comes to people like Sting or Cena, or you know what I mean. But you have to say, like, out of his generation, he's probably the best already. Him, like I said, him or Cesaro. I mean, there's probably 2 more you could probably throw in there maybe.
Yeah.
But so Sting, for somebody that looks at Rollins and seeing what he does in the ring, even Austin said, like, the stuff that these guys are doing in the ring, it's insane. So for Sting to want to help him get over because he deserves it, and also come out of his element and go off the top rope a couple times and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it speaks volumes to see what Sting can do and wants to do. So, Triple H and Sting real quick before I go.
Just because to me Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time, and seeing those two guys go at it.
Bias.
Yeah, a little bias
He didn't
there.
want to say it. He's not owning up to you.
Yeah.
What price?
Try not to be biased.
I just love Triple H, and anytime I get to see him in the ring, he only wrestled once this year, so.
Yeah.
Just like NXT would say, respect.
Word.
Yes.
That segue of bias will come into effect in my countdown. But before that, let me get to my honorable mentions. I have Reigns versus Lesnar at Mania. Obviously, Seth Rollins cashed in was a big bonus, but even before that, the big thing was, can Reigns step up? Even though he's been kind of handed this spot, he needed to step up on the mic and in the ring, especially with Lesnar, who's really, really physical. I thought he did that 100%. So him, that match. I have the IC ladder match at WrestleMania 31 as well. Just the bumps that everybody took, like even that Stardust Wade Barrett suplex that was on top, like that was a high ladder. It was pretty cool. And then my last one is NXT Rival, the Fatal 4-Way Women's match.
That's a good match.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's the one that Sasha beat Charlotte. Becky Lynch and Bayley were also in that match. But, excuse me. I think Sasha was on the cusp of winning that. So when those 4, which are, kind of the head of the NXT division at that time, when she won, I think, like you said, for the Becky Lynch one at Unstoppable, just propelled her into a different level. Now let's go to my countdown. My biasness comes in early at number 5. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31. I think the match before that was the ladder match. Then it was the Seth Rollins and Randy Orton match. Those 2 matches just set the tone for the event. Because what you need, obviously, we always say, you need a good curtain jerker, which is the very first match on the card to keep the audience intrigued. Those 2 matches set the tone perfectly for what I thought was the best WrestleMania since 26, maybe 24. Number 4, Kevin Owens versus John Cena, Elimination Chamber. Everybody knew, if you watched NXT, what Kevin Owens can do. But when he got to that main roster, and he pretty much, just the moveset that he did against Cena for the first match, the trust that Cena had in him, and vice versa, was just insane. And the Elimination Chamber match, I mean, that was on a network special. It wasn't even on a pay-per-view. So, I mean, and I don't know, I just thought it was really, really special. Number 3, I have Sasha Banks versus Bayley at NXT Brooklyn. I decided to not use the 30-minute Iron Woman match. Why are you looking at me, Price?
That was a great pay-per-view.
I know you're gonna say that. I'm sure we'll talk about that later, but it was all right. It wasn't as good as the one. Actually, no, that's not. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, Yeah, Sasha Banks and Bayley. I like that match over the Iron Woman match, because it was more organic and authentic. You know, they weren't forced to do 30 minutes. They just did probably like 20, 22, and it was just solid. Told the story, everything. It was probably the best women's match I've seen in my life. Number 2, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus John Cena at Rumble. There is no bias. That was a great match. If that match wasn't on that card, Royal Rumble, that'd probably be the worst Royal Rumble
Someone probably
in
would have
history.
swarmed the ring.
That too. But that probably would have been the worst Rumble in history, I think. And then my number 1 is Seth Rollins versus John Cena. Just what was on the line. You guys pretty much already talked about it. Title for title. Seth Rollins, I thought was very, very ironic because he came out in all white, which was the first time we saw that. And he's a heel coming out in all white, meaning like pure, like he's a pure wrestler.
I thought he was Mordecai's son.
Well, everybody thinks that, even
Or
with
Tommy the White Ranger.
yeah, whatever it comes out with. But yeah, like it was just, I thought it was ironic because he came out in all white and he's supposed to be the heel. But I thought it was supposed to signify like I'm a pure wrestler. I'm not here to sell merchandise and all that kind of stuff. Even though he probably makes a killing on merchandise.
Yeah.
But the ending, the only thing I can say about that is that Jon Stewart took a little too long. And for me, made it predictable that he's going to turn on Cena. But other than that, I mean, the match itself was phenomenal. Tell us your thoughts. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, and YouTube if you want. We're always down for some comments. When we come back, it's time for our mini Slammy-like award show called the PriMalLow Prize Winners. There we go. Well, you'll hear the theme song after. Stay tuned for the PriMalLow Prize Winners.
Hey, I'm Tom Malloy from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Do you like Facebook? Do you like wrestling? Like our page, search the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Enjoy.
Welcome back to episode number 39, the year-end edition of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here with my 2 colleagues, Robert Price and Tom Malloy.
Hello.
What's up?
All right, so like we always talked about in the beginning of the show, the Slammies were last week, so we're going to give our kind of like mini edition of it. Some award or some categories here are, the best of, and some are the worst of. So let's get right into it. We're going to start off with Malloy with his winner. We're going to have a superstar that had the most disappointing year. I guess you could say.
Is that even really an award?
It's an award for our show.
Yeah, it's an award for our show.
Yeah,
As in, like, somebody who was almost primed at the end of 14 that you thought was going to carry over into 15 and just didn't.
I have Cesaro down.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was going to do some big things this year, and he was just nothing more than just a really good tag team with Tyson Kidd.
Oh, yeah, also, this might not reflect the wrestler. It could affect booking, but...
Yeah, well, booking
obviously-
too, yeah.
I mean, because obviously it's
And now he's
not their
injured
choice,
too.
But...
I'm going to say, and even, I might even want to tie this with Ryback.
Okay, I was actually... Do you know the reason why I thought? I thought of 4 people. Ryback was the first one. I didn't write him down, though.
He could be so good if booked correctly.
Yeah, of course. Price, how about you?
Damien Sandow,
Ooh,
Miz Dow,
that's perfect.
Macho Dow. I think that
I'm
one
sorry,
after
you
the
want to say it
other.
again? I think I cut you off because I was like, that was a
Damien
great
Sandow, Miz Dow, Macho Dow.
pick. It's a great pick. That's awesome. Go
Now, the reason why I picked him was because you thought so much of him that he was going to break away from The Miz. He eliminated The Miz from the Under the Giant Battle Royal. And then you thought, wow, he's going to be going places. So what did he do? Turned into the Macho Man. Macho Dow, sorry.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal actually sued him for gimmick infringement.
Really?
No.
Oh. That would been pretty funny.
But anyways, then he just disappeared because
'Cause
unfortunately
he can make it
Curtis
as a face.
Axel was doing
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. So you thought maybe he would go back to Damien Sandow, and he just didn't.
I think he will. I heard he did a tweet that kind of like foreshadowed it. I don't think he could be a good face. I really don't think so.
I
So
think
he needs to go back
I think
to
he's
that.
getting passed very rapidly.
Yes. Just I don't want to take too long on these.
Go ahead.
I have Dolph Ziggler.
Why do you have Ziggler?
Because he was really, really primed after Survivor Series when he did that 3-1 comeback, remember? Even though Sting interfered, but still. And then, I don't know, it's part of, and the reason why is because I don't think this is 100% all booking's fault. I really just think that people are getting sick of seeing Dolph Ziggler be the same guy. You can't be called the show-off if you're a mid-card for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Right?
It's exactly what I just said before. I mean, like, there's so many people in NXT, and with you showing NXT every single week, there's so many people that are hungry to see these guys get up to the main roster, and then, the guys that have been there for a while.
Just get stale, yep.
Yeah.
All right, so Malloy has Cesaro, Price has Sandow. I was gonna say Macho Mando, and then I have Dolph Ziggler. Number 2, worst rivalry in 2015. Price.
Speaking of Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev.
Yeah.
I just thought that it was way too long, and it was like every single option that they could have went, they just went down every single road and never got to the end.
And especially because of what happened with the TMZ photo.
No, I was actually happy that happened.
No, me
Got them
too.
out of
But
the
I'm
rivalry.
saying, like, yeah, they were gonna continue that still. Malloy, how about you?
I actually have the same award to Rusev and Ziggler.
You made my choice easy because I have 2 here. I have Big Show versus Reigns and Rusev versus Ziggler. And I want to, just to give some aspect to the show, I'm going to pick Big Show and Reigns.
Well, we still give the award to.
Oh, yeah, 2-1 technically, yeah.
Yeah,
On a majority basis. And because I also have it as my number 2. Very, like, an
Very
inch away
close.
from the top, yeah.
You should see it's closer than a Charles Robinson 2.5.
Yeah, 2 9/8 or 8/9, I should say. Yeah, they just try to get Reigns over so much, and it just didn't work because Big Show can't. He's not what he used to be, so he was pretty much just being a jobber over and over again. Although that Extreme Rules match was pretty good. Other than that feud was awful. Best mic work / promos in WWE. Malloy.
Seth Rollins.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you expecting that, Price?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'll have to tell you.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like realistic, like just realistic as a realistic person, not like as a gimmick or anything else like that.
Yeah.
He just came out every night, told people he was the best. I just think the way he presents himself on the mic is just the best.
Okay. Price?
Seth Rollins.
Really?
I just love his laugh, and also, I think Paul Heyman.
Is this short number 2?
Yeah, he gets it, but
I put Bray Wyatt as short number 2, but I'm still going with Seth Rollins.
I went with Seth Rollins, and I love his laugh.
Okay. There's many people you could think of: Paul Heyman, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, apparently Seth Rollins. I have New Day.
New Day is awesome on the mic.
I just think that they're very entertaining. I mean, obviously not the aspect of bragging,
What?
but they're in just entertainment value is just hysterical. And like you said, it's not a gimmick thing. I really think what they do is just
To go out and they have
they
fun.
just have fun, and it's,
Yeah,
so it's
and it
literally like
translates.
it's literally like Edge and Christian what they did back in 2000.
They are Edge and Christian.
Exactly.
They're newer Edge and Christian, I
but
think.
I think amped up even further.
Oh, definitely. Amped
Yeah, because they're
up,
hungry. They want
Yeah.
to stay there. They want to keep on top.
They know
Oh,
the
they're going to
tag.
stay on top.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, mine. So, both 2. That's another one. 2-1.
Yeah.
My number 2 would have been Kevin Owens. Actually, we don't get enough Heyman, unfortunately, and
Now,
it's
I
not his
want-
fault. I want more Heyman, but
Yeah,
we don't.
I
we
would
all
love
do.
to even manage to be a commentator.
I
Now-
really wish he just made a Dangerous Alliance 2.0, but
Now, for this next one, I want you to go first.
no, I want Malloy to go first. Let's get him
Okay,
out.
Malloy goes first.
No, this is no disrespect.
No,
to
Malloy should
Malloy.
go last.
Okay,
Because the
all
fact
right,
that
okay, maybe he might tie it.
He
Okay.
might.
He probably will. I don't have either or. I already know what you're thinking: NXT London or NXT Brooklyn.
Oh.
I have NXT Rival,
Ooh.
which I think top to bottom is a great card. You could possibly say the worst, not the worst match, but the Bull Dempsey Baron Corbin match was because you're expecting a longer match than whatever it was. But a Tommy Breeze match, great. Neville Balor match, great. I mean, these are proven guys in NXT still that were just performing still. And you would think that they've been there for like a year or 2 years, like Neville and Breeze, Sami Zayn, but they still had that hunger, so that they were performing great matches. The first match between Kevin Owens and Zayn, and the Fatal 4-Way match
Right?
that I talked about on my list of the honorable mention. Sasha Banks, that was a great match. Everybody got their, their 5-minute spot, told a story still, and my favorite diva won the match. So, NXT TakeOver Rival. Do we need to say yours?
Mine's NXT Brooklyn.
Oh, why is that?
It's because right from the gate, you have Blue Pants, and also you had the best women's match of the year.
Okay.
You
I agree.
You also had Apollo Crews debut, which on his birthday decided to beat Ty Dillinger, who I believe is the new Tyler Breeze.
Ty Dillinger?
Just
He
putting
will
people
be.
over.
Yep. Although, I think he's going to get hot after that London reception. I could be wrong. Go ahead.
And that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to argue. But maybe Malloy could settle the score. What if you pick London and none of us didn't even
Alright.
pick it?
I have a NXT TakeOver Brooklyn.
Yes.
I know.
Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
Why is that?
I just thought it was actually the first NXT rival, or not. Well, it's not actually called NXT rival. First NXT pay-per-view I've watched, and I found it really interesting because I didn't know a lot about the guys going in. And after that, I started doing some research, like on Apollo Crews. He's fantastic in the ring. He actually has a really great indie career.
Oh, yeah.
That ladder match with us.
See, I think that hurt.
Kevin Owens and Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. I think that was a really good match for Finn Balor, but not for Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens couldn't do as much stuff in the match because he had a match against Cena the next following night, right? Cesaro?
Yeah.
So, where are you going to go with that? Like, where are you gonna do your best at? You're going to do your best on an NXT show, or you're going to do your best at SummerSlam?
Well, I would disagree with you on that one, but
No, yeah. The reason why I agree
What
with
paycheck?
Price,
What paycheck should be better?
yeah, it doesn't matter. He's on the roster. He's getting paid no matter
he's
what.
already getting paid.
He's getting paid.
But
He's
if
getting
you
paid.
if you get hurt at that NXT event,
Right.
it's gonna
I understand
crucify
that, yeah.
your
No, I agree.
stuff
with-
going on at
Yeah.
I understand
you know,
your
WWE.
logic. For me, with just real quick, Brooklyn, great. Like obviously, you cannot argue the last two
Co-main
matches,
event.
the co-main events. Yeah, I just don't like Liger coming in for one event. I just don't like that. I don't like the squash with Apollo, and it's unfortunate, but the Corbin match is forgotten. I think
That was I think it was
Corbin and
Samoa
Samoa Joe. Nobody's talked. Even when we argued last
Right.
week, we didn't even talk about it because I actually forgot about that match. I don't know why. I just
Because
forget
it just
about
got lost in the shuffle.
it. It's-
Because look at all the
Nobody
other
really
matches
cares.
that were against it. I mean, Liger and Tyler Breeze. I don't think that match was that great at all.
I don't think it was either.
But
But
the fact that he came
Liger
in-
was there. He was
Yeah.
he was never in a WWE ring before.
Right.
Yeah, but I've seen him in WCW.
Not a lot of
That's
people
just me.
have.
That's
Not a
just
lot of
me.
people have though.
What's WCW?
And I think Enzo and Cash should have got true. I think
Right.
Enzo and Cash should
I
have got the
agree
title
with you.
shot.
I agree
I
with
don't
you.
understand how
on
the
that one.
Vaudevillains got that title shot. It's in New York. The
I
pop
don't-
that they got, they should have went right to the main roster for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But anyway, worst pay-per-view in 2015. Price, sorry.
Fastlane
Fastlane? Okay, why?
is forgotten.
Okay. It was the first pay-per-view. Hopefully there's no more Fastlanes after that. That's funny. Any matches that you hated besides all of them?
All of them.
Okay. Daniel Bryan Reigns match wasn't bad, actually.
It sucked because everybody wanted Bryan to win still.
No, I know, but I mean,
Yeah, no.
actually, that was the first match.
That was force feeding.
Yeah,
Reigns to us.
exactly, yeah. Malloy, how about you?
I have Survivor Series.
I don't blame you.
Ooh.
I really don't blame you.
I just remember, like, the thing I remember it as sitting over Price's house,
And
Eat
not
some-
watching the network?
eating some,
True.
well, yeah, that part too, eating some awesome pierogies and falling asleep at his kitchen table because it was so boring.
Yeah.
You fell asleep?
Me and
Oh,
John
he
ran
always
it
does.
out. Me and John ran it out because it was
Besides the
it was-
first match.
It was a boring pay per view.
It was.
I don't blame you. Besides the Del Rio Reigns match, which was the first match on the card, I thought it was I don't know what they were thinking.
Honestly, I forget what was the main event. Seth Rollins versus it was it was
What?
it was a
Tournament,
tournament. I'm
dude.
sorry. That Dean
What?
Ambrose match and Roman Reigns match could have been a lot better too.
Yeah.
However, I did like the spot where they were punching each other in the mouth.
Of course, yeah. I have Payback.
Yet again, another forgotten pay per view.
It really is. Besides the Fatal 4-Way match, that
Was
had the
awesome.
Shield, it was phenomenal.
The-
But every other match on that was just the rivalries were extended way too long. I mean,
Yeah.
Cena and Rusev were going on their fourth pay-per-view match. Should have been done after Mania.
That's what every
New Day Cesaro, they were doing the rematch, and that was decent.
Real
But
decent.
and then Ziggler and Sheamus, which could also be on that worst rivalry list, just didn't get anywhere because Sheamus is boring.
And that's how Ziggler gets all his concussions.
Yep. Sheamus, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, last one. We got to wrap this up quick. Biggest WWE story of 2015, Malloy.
All right, I got cash in for Seth Rollins.
Yeah?
I think it was like that's the last time I had shock value in
Really?
professional wrestling.
Okay.
Besides actually Vince McMahon putting over Roman Reigns himself. But yeah, to me that was just an awesome moment. I mean, I will not forget WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
Like when I think about WrestleMania 32, I'm gonna be like, all right,
To beat the cash.
that's the cash in. That's the one I'm gonna remember. Just like as I remember 26. You know, Michael's last event.
Yep. I don't blame you on that. Price. Biggest moment in WWE in your eyes.
Sting wrestles at WrestleMania.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was so nice that they had to wait years and years. I believe it was 13 years, right?
Are you upset that it was Triple H and Undertaker?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
No. You know what? Just the fact that it was Triple H. The
At
way,
least
I mean,
second.
like, I liked the story when they eventually did that, but I think there was so many other people that he could have came in. I get the whole philosophy. Triple H is like, oh, I was here forever.
No,
Should have been Michaels.
Yeah, that makes
Should
sense.
have been Michaels.
I always say that too. I completely agree. It's
Because
either
Michaels was there forever too. He was never anywhere else.
That's
He was
what I
never
was-
even in WCW.
That's what I mean.
That's what I
think
mean. Triple H
it's-
was
I always
there,
say
Undertaker was
when
there.
it comes to WCW versus WWE, it should really be Michaels and Undertaker against like Flair, and even though Flair was there for like a year, but Flair and Sting, I feel like they're the two that symbolize. Not even Hogan. I don't care. NWO. was 2 years.
Hogan's WWF.
Yeah, I agree. Mine is. This is not biased. I'm really putting this down because I've never seen the Raw after a pay-per-view like make so many alternative like changes. I mean, I know the weather factor, but Royal Rumble aftermath.
Yeah.
I just think
the
that
fact
that's the first thing that like it was. Even on WWE TV, it was more like kayfabe, not kayfabe. Like they had to bring Daniel Bryan back in the title picture for an extra month because of what we did. We did because we were there. But do you know what I mean? Like we actually wanted Rusev to win the Rumble over Reigns.
That would have been a horrible match. Because
I'm just saying, like what the crowd reaction was. The Usos arguing with fans in the parking lot because of what the fans were saying to Reigns and stuff like that. Like I've never heard. It was on national TV. Like I've never heard a crowd like alter. Like creative had to be backstage right after Rumble and be like, all right, we got to fix this. Like top down.
Dude,
Everything.
remember going back on the subway back to Jordan's sister's house?
Yeah.
People weren't even talking that were wrestling fans.
I
They were like, we wasted our money.
Yeah, and the event wasn't good. You didn't get to see. Besides, like I said, the title match, the pay per view was terrible.
The Rock got booed. When do you think the last time The Rock got booed? When he was going against Austin when he was a heel.
Yeah, exactly. It was just crazy, and I just thought that was something that we've never seen before, and
Hopefully never see again.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
No, I'd love to see another Rumble, actually.
I would definitely go see another Rumble.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Hopefully it's just not as bad as the Rumble we saw.
Right.
Well, we'll find out in 4 weeks. So
Yeah, exactly.
when we come back, we're gonna close out our show. It is the 2016 Predictor. I have a couple questions here, and they're gonna give us our thoughts rapid fire on what our predictions. So stay tuned. I'll close out our show. Welcome back. It is time for this year-end show to come to its end. We're going to do the 2016 Predictor. It's not first thought like we did a couple weeks ago where I just save a question and it's the first thought that comes to your head. We actually had time to, prepare, but due to time, I don't want to go on a boring description. So we'll start with Malloy. We just have a couple questions here on like certain events and who we think is going to win due to their, I guess, momentum going into next year. So, with that being said, Malloy, who will win the 2016 Money in the Bank briefcase? I know it's 6 months down the road.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose? Okay.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. That's pretty crazy. Question number 2. If this event becomes a yearly occasion, who will win the 2016 King of the Ring tournament? Price.
Tyler Breeze.
Okay.
Adrian
Malloy?
Neville.
Neville? I have Rusev. Number 3. Who will be the next superstar, diva, or tag team to make the jump from NXT to WWE? You can explain this if you want. Malloy.
Samoa Joe.
Why?
He's going to go. I have a feeling Kevin Owens is going to have a match with Brock Lesnar or even whoever it is at WrestleMania. Whoever it is, Samoa Joe's going to interfere because they're both prize champions.
Okay.
And they want to be the prize of being better than each other.
Okay. Price?
No one. However, I have Enzo, Cass, and Carmella coming up.
But you have nobody? Like you think nobody, even though you got to write something
No,
down?
I think nobody wants to come up, but that's who I have down. Enzo, Cass, and Carmella.
Okay. Do you want to explain why you think nobody wants to?
Nobody wants to come up because they don't want to be buried.
Okay.
It's been said.
The roster's too deep.
That's what Finn
Right.
Balor pretty much said.
Yeah.
I also have Enzo and Cass just because the tag team division is probably the only division that needs an extra jump start.
No Carmella?
No, Carmella.
Okay.
She's injured, isn't she?
No,
No.
she's good.
Who's
I
the
just think
Dana
that
Brooke?
she needs to stay down there, develop. Because that once Bayley comes up, which I think is gonna be after WrestleMania. You don't think so?
I think she's going to stay there for a while.
You think so?
Yeah,
See, I don't
she's-
think so.
She's the mother figure right now.
Well, that's what I mean. But I think they need the roster as deep as possible right now for everybody to
Right.
develop. Because everybody besides Bayley is green. I think they'll be good in like.
Asuka, Nia Jax are the only two exceptions.
Well, Nia Jax is
And
kind of
Emma.
green, but Emma and Asuka is the only two that are not green at all. But okay. Number 4, name a rivalry that needs to happen in 2016. Price.
Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins,
Why?
because if you take Kevin Owens off of his leash and let him have a wrestling match, that will be match of the year.
All right, Malloy, how about you, rivalry?
I have Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns.
Oh, me too. Why? Real quick.
I just think this is something I've been waiting for all year and it hasn't happened, so I'm just going to carry it over to next year.
I've been waiting.
I really think it needs to happen too. Besides Reigns and Cena, I think Ambrose is the next best thing for Reigns to get him over or hated.
Best friends,
Yeah.
brutal enemies.
Bad blood.
Number 5, name a wrestler, diva, or tag team that needs to win a title in 2016. That hasn't won one yet. Malloy.
Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
Dean, 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 Dean.
Well, you don't have to say why. Everybody knows why. Price?
Adrian Neville. If you're breakout star of the year, you should have a title.
Okay. I have Sasha Banks.
Oh, well, you know,
Very
no
obvious
bias
answer.
there.
It's a very obvious answer. Number 6, which wrestler / diva, if you guys think, will become a part of the Authority stable? Price.
Woo! Charlotte.
I'm really interested. You gotta describe this one. I'm
Because
interested.
Authority, you're thinking of like the best friends of Triple H. So Ric Flair's like, oh yeah, you should go join this group, Charlotte. Charlotte joins the group. She's the top. She already has a title, so she's the top female wrestler. She could be a heel since Nikki Bella is not going to be there for a while
Exactly.
with her injury. So
That makes sense.
yeah,
Malloy.
I have Roman Reigns.
Guess what I have?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. It needs to happen.
It does.
I was actually thinking him or Cena. Him, Cena, and Ambrose. Some good face needs to go heel because heel is not deep enough right now. And then the final question, which I think is a perfect ending to this segment and the show. Before Price gives me questions, I forgot. Who needs to enter the title picture that really hasn't yet? Malloy.
Antonio Cesaro.
Why did you give the full name?
This is his full name.
But you did the whole show.
I said Adrian Neville.
Yeah, but still, I'm saying Cesaro you had here for the biggest letdown. You just said Cesaro. Anyway,
Okay, whatever.
I still love you.
Yeah.
Price.
Kevin Owens.
Okay. Because he lost his IC title?
Yep.
All right. I have Bray Wyatt. As much as he's feuded with all these big guys, he's never gotten, that means he needs to win a feud against one of these huge faces. So, Price?
Rich, I think we should declare an off-the-wall prediction that will happen this year. All right, guys? Ready?
I'm
First
ready.
thing that comes to your head. Who's going to return, a surprise return this year? Rich.
Daniel Bryan.
Tom.
Randy Orton. Sooner than expected.
I said Seth Rollins.
Okay. What do you mean sooner than expected?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Name a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. Rich.
Christian.
Tom.
X-Pac.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
I don't know
Who
about
will
that.
turn heel this year? This is Rich's favorite question. Who's going to turn heel this year?
First of all, don't put this on me because all of us have said that Reigns or Ambrose got to go heel because
The fans
it's
know.
stale.
Pick
The fans know every single week you want somebody to turn heel.
But, well, of course.
Admit it.
Dude, did I not just say the heel wrestlers are so stale and boring? They
All
need
right.
somebody. They need something fresh.
Who's turning heel?
I'm the voice of the voiceless. I'm like
Okay.
the CM Punk of the show.
All right.
No, go ahead.
Like CM Punk, who's turning heel?
Turning heel, I'm
This
going
year.
to go with Reigns.
Cena.
Cena.
That's my backup.
Who's turning face this year?
Rollins.
Sheamus.
I went with Rollins as well.
He's going to come back and get cheered.
Name a superstar / diva that will be fired in 2016. And not like a jobber, a bigger person.
Wait, name a bigger person that we fire?
Fired.
What do you mean, like demote?
No, like fired. Like future endeavored.
Like we don't want to see him ever again?
They're gone from the company. They're going to get fired this year.
Who do I want to see? Oh my god, that's a hard one, dude.
All right, Tom.
Rusev.
I was gonna say Sheamus.
I was going to go with Rusev as well.
Yeah, I like Rusev.
So do I, but I don't think WWE does.
Right.
It's a nationality gimmick. Tell you what, you can only go so far with that.
You gave him with camel clutch. I mean, like he's dead.
Yeah. Well, I can't change it. It was first thought. But I was gonna say real quick, if we fired him, could they be a writer or like backstage?
Sure.
I'd say Big Show.
Oh.
Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn. I like that one. Fire Kevin Dunn. Put another writer in that house.
I like Big Show. He just can't perform anymore, and I think he'll help the talent. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys are safe for New Year's Eve / New Year's Day. And celebrated with your loved ones and all that good stuff. I'm your host, Rich Lopez. You guys can do your sign-offs. It's the last one of 2015. Make it count.
We, the people.
Freak out, freak out.
That's a very good Macho Man reference. Like I said, be safe, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, new year, we're going to an even number, episode 40. So stay tuned.
It's gonna be a
Your rocks.
Yeah.
new year rocks. New
3
year rocks. New
2
year rocks. New
one.
year rocks.
I'm done.
Take care.